We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people. We interrupt this broadcast for a special announcement from the Lesbian Army Radio. I've got to interrupt this episode of the Kristin Knows Blank podcast because important gay things are happening, and Lesbian Army Radio is here to report all about it. I might be late to the party, but I spent the weekend binging the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2, and it was too much. It was too much, and so I had to dedicate this episode just to unpacking it, and I can't do that without my good friend and usual road opener, Nicole Melnyk.
Pew, 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 pew.
I texted Melnyk and I said, "Have you been watching the Queer Ultimatum?" And she said, "No." And I said, "You have 2 days."
You said no. I said no. There's a new dinosaur movie out. So
well, let's get right to it. So this is season 2 of the Ultimatum Queer Love. Season 1 was just an absolute shit show, and I loved every minute of it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I watched it in anticipation of you probably making me watch it anyway.
Great. I thought this season was better than last season.
Really?
I did.
Okay. Wow.
I thought there was more to. So for those of you first time listeners, the Ultimatum is a show where this time queer couples, lesbian couples, came on the show, and the premise is one of them wanted to get married and the other one was like, maybe. And so they were like, well, now we'll either get married or we're going to have sex with someone else on television or we're going to leave alone. It's the healthiest way to find out if you should get married.
There's only 4 options.
Either we get married, I have sex with somebody else while you're watching, we leave alone, or someone's going to, anyway. So yeah. So let's go through the cast real quick. Let's talk about who.
That's what. It's funny that you say that. Season 1, I think, just had. Well, it was worse in the sense that there was just like one villain. Like I felt like in this season, I felt like I hated everyone.
There were so many. Molly called them. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized. Let's say it rhymes with brererists. She called them brererists because they were so awful. And so they're just some like, and I know that if those people are watching this and going like, you don't understand, you weren't there. We weren't there. I don't know what that's like. I don't know that. And Molly and I have talked a lot about if we were on the show, and we're like, we wouldn't. But if we were, what would happen? She's like, you would do something. I'm like, I don't know if I would or wouldn't. I don't know if you're living with somebody for 3 weeks. We're going to unpack that in a minute. But there were some brererists on this show that just absolute horrible people.
I want to be on reality TV so bad, and by that I mean Survivor. And then the idea, the only way that you'll catch me on Ultimatum is if they went, all right, if you do this one thing for us, you can be on Survivor. Like that's the only way I'd go on Queer Ultimatum. I would never.
I feel like it's worth watching you on Survivor as well, which I don't. No offense, do not think you would do well, but just to because every time I'm watching a scene with this, I'm like, who would Melnyk pick? What would Melnyk, WWMD, what would Melnyk do? So let's start with the cast. The people that came on, the couples were AJ and Brittany. Brittany was very successful, has her own business, entrepreneur. AJ is a DJ. And
boy.
Did not want to get married because she wanted to be a white knight in shining armor and just didn't have her shit together. And Brittany was like, then just do that. And like, nah, not till I'm ready. Then what were your first impressions of Brittany and AJ, by the way?
Immediately,
yeah.
Brittany, I was like, I hope that Brittany wins. It's not even a competition to me, but I go, who is this queen? And then AJ was like, nah, man, I'm just going to be single for 3 weeks. Get out of here.
Molly and I agreed on that too. As soon as Brittany came in the whole show, we were like, why doesn't she just become a model? Like, dude, why is she here? Like, she's got her shit together, beautiful, gorgeous, smart, has her own business. What are you doing in this pile of puppies?
insane.
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 Okay, great first impression. Marita and Ashley, and I'm not a mean person. I'm not, but I nicknamed them. I nicknamed them Dumb and Dumber.
Yo, what?
You thought that
I would die for
couldn't get out of an
Marita.
escape
I would
room
die for
if you
Marita.
t-
Ashley needs to get her shit together. Ashley needs to learn how to love, dude. I'm Team Marita till the day I die.
We're just first impressions. We're just giving our first impressions, and you've already fallen for Marita.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Well, okay. Initially,
it's nice that we're gonna have two sides to every couple.
This is. I saw a lot of me in Ashley.
Okay.
And that she would be like confused about like anything.
How to open a jar.
I felt like she was like, what is this? And you're like, we're on episode 6, babe. Like, there's so much.
Yeah, there was a point in like episode 3 or 4 when they were like, and Ashley, I'm like, who? You forgot she was there a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Okay, let's move on. Megan and Dana. Megan had the severe undercut, and Dana had ginormous breasts. And so I called them Undercut and the Boobies.
Whoa, Undercut and the Boobs.
Yeah, like a buddy cop film.
Oh, I love that.
First impressions of that, I feel like Megan and I would probably be friends at a barbecue.
Yeah, wait, no. I don't like rooting off, like usually I'm just like, maybe it's like me. All the boy lesbians were like giving me the ick off rip.
Are we called boy lesbians? Is that what we're okay? All the boy lesbians.
Yeah, there are 4 boy lesbians on this show. There's 2 boys and there's 2 soft boys.
Okay.
That's like in my head, that's how I broke this whole thing down.
Perfect. Okay, you've got nicknames so we can keep their names fresh in our heads.
I got them.
Okay, so we've met Megan, we've met Dana, we've got Marita and Ashley, we've got Brittany, we've got AJ. Then we had Kyle and Bridget, and Kyle unfortunately looks like me. But we did find this out recently after one of my shows. One of my openers came up and like, "Oh, you're taking a picture with someone that looks like you," and I go, "Look at that line. Every third person in line looks like me." And so, of course, there's somebody on this show that looked, So Kyle, I thought, looked a bit like me, and so therefore, I was rooting for her and against her the entire show.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I thought Kyle looked like MGK, so that's pretty much the name she got stuck with off rip.
MGK.
MGK and Mullet, because that was like off rip.
Okay.
That's, to me, it was MGK and Mullet. I wasn't trying to. Yeah.
I just called them Team Looks Like Me and also Mullet. Okay. Marie and Mel, Team Food Truck came in. First impression, didn't have any impression except for they run a food truck together and they've been together 10 years. Okay. And then Pilar and Haley, I just called a lady lesbian.
Yo, yeah, they're femme on femme. That's funny. Femme. I called them just half watching, just because I'm bad at paying attention. I called them double brunette, and then I went, she's got red hair and she has black hair. But then it was funny to me that I thought 2 people who don't look like what I think they look like. So they got to be double brunette, but it's probably just because they were 2 girl lesbians.
Do you know what?
I was like,
the first, because I knew we were going to be sitting down to talk about this. So the first episode at the beginning, I'm like trying to scribble down. No, I'm like, who is that? Who is she? What is her name? They don't go. And then as it goes on, I learned their names a little bit more. I did go ahead though, just to get some clarity on who people were. I looked through their bios on Netflix.com, and these are hilarious. You find out how they met, I'm not going to go over all of it. All I did was I found my favorite fun facts that they said about themselves, because some of these I don't think understood what a fun fact is. Like Melnyk, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Oh, I wish I could juggle.
I wish I could juggle. That's a great fun fact because it tells so much about you that if you had a wish, yours is to juggle. That's great. Mine is that I play the banjo. It's like, you wouldn't see it coming and you wonder why. So here are some fun facts that I found out. Let's just start with Dana. Dana, fun fact about yourself. I'm left-handed. That's just a fact. There's nothing fun about that. No offense, Dana.
That's so funny. Wait, my friend Sarah used to call them facts, and then you can decide if they're fun because she didn't want to put that much pressure
I
on
decided that is not fun. You're just left-handed. Congrats.
Wait, that's so funny that that's what you fixated on, because I immediately was looking at their first queer crush.
Oh,
That's
they're
what
on
I
there
cared
too.
about.
I
It
got,
one,
yeah.
yeah.
You can have to list some of those. I got
Haley
two.
said it.
Oh, what was
Yeah, no,
hers?
you go first.
I just want to round out the fun facts about themselves. Kyle's fun fact was as a child I could recite from memory every dog breed that was in the Encyclopedia of Dog Breeds. Unfortunately, I can no longer do that.
Not a fact anymore, then, Kai. You know what I'm saying? Not a fact anymore, then.
That's a whole story and a whole window into your childhood. And the fact that you can't do it anymore and said unfortunately about that just says
That's a
so much about
novel.
you. Yeah. I got one more though. My favorite was Mel's.
Yeah.
Mel's fun fact. I have trypophobia. I had to look up what trypophobia was.
What is it?
Trypophobia is the fear or aversion to clusters of holes or patterns that resemble holes. And if you have this and it's a real thing, and I'm about to be super insensitive, just put your earmuffs on and just F off. Triggers are honeycombs. Lotus sea pot. Why are you like this? Like, it's just, I mean, if I don't know why I'm already mad at her. I mean,
But also, if you have it, we're sensitive to it here on Pirate Radio.
It's called Lesbian Army Radio. Thank you very much.
Lesbian Army Radio.
And we're holding all kinds of space for your.
We're holding so much space.
You're a lesbian with a fear of holes. Like, you're on the wrong show. Okay, talk to me about first crushes, because I went through these, and because I was so old I didn't recognize most of them. I skimmed.
Yeah,
them.
they were all my age. I understood all of them. This is Brittany.
Again,
I looked at.
You're
I was
either 12 or 90. I can never tell.
Yeah, they were all. I'm between the ages. I think one was 24. I think the oldest is like 34. I'm somewhere around there. Brittany said that her first queer crush was Kaylani, and I was like, that's the right answer. That is the right answer. And then Haley said that it was the three muses from Hercules, which is just that's such a funny part of Hercules to have a crush on, because all of them are pretty good looking for cartoons. And then I can't remember who, I think it might have been Kyle, but they said Xenon from Girl of the 21st Century, which is a Disney movie. And I think that's cool when Disney has to be queer because we like it.
So at least two of them chose Disney animated characters.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wow. This is an insight to why this is a
crazy.
good season this year. It's good. The characters are definitely, the casting, they chose interesting people. So these 6 couples, they came to Miami, I believe it was, and they all get together on day 1, and they talk about why they're there and what they're looking for, and everybody seems fairly optimistic, I think. Could you do this with a partner, do you think?
No, I think it's fascinating they only ever want to quit once.
Well, because they signed up for this. My Molly is a reality TV producer, so she's done this.
That's right.
She's done The Bachelor. She's done multiple shows. And anytime I would bring up something like, this has got to be real, she's like, they know what they signed up for. They've literally been walked through, like they knew what they were getting into. So at any point when people are like, I mean, of course, and I've been on a reality TV show, and I told her I've been on 2 reality TV shows, and both times I had to go to therapy after. And mine were not dating shows. They were comedy competition shows. So yes, you know what you're getting into, but no, you don't. You don't know what that's going to do to your head or your relationship. And us, the viewers, we're like, go for it, dude. So, okay. I'm trying to keep this on track chronologically.
Yeah, we're on track. Yeah.
They've come on the show. We have 6 couples, and it starts with speed dating. They all get to date each other.
Yeah.
Every single person sits with every other person besides your own mate, and you find out who you got some chemistry with. And some of these people were better at that than other people, because I feel like I'm watching AJ do it. And this is like, I think it was at the end of this episode that I had to go and look up their zodiac signs, because I said out loud, I said, AJ is a Libra. That is some Libra behavior right there. I know that because I am a Libra. And when you go in, you're going to, I mean, and people got so mad. It's mainly because eventually in the episode, people got a little bit angry at her because they're like, hey, she's telling everybody that they're special and she's over complimenting. The first thing she said on the whole show, AG comes in and it's like, the stars will combust just to try and compare with you. I'm like, gross. These spontaneous declarations. But she goes around and she has like 4 girls at the very beginning. Immediately.
Hated it.
It did not feel comfortable for me either. And I'm like, what would I do? What would I do if I'm on this show? And then I was going to ask you next, so you're speed dating. You've just met all these people. You've got 5 people. No, sorry. What's 6 times 12? So 11 people. You got 11 people to go meet and mingle with. Who would you be initially drawn to in this pack?
Brittany off rip, obviously, but then also they do this on the show, and I think this maybe is like the producers being like, "Hey, but I would like, or maybe it's just me, but I would be like, what's up, dude? Like to all the boys, like I would go up to Megan, I'd be like, what's up, you guys? Isn't it cool we all wear black
Mel
shirts
and
chains?"
Megan do that at the very beginning? They kind of were just like, "All right, let's go!" Like they
let's
were like,
go,
"Yeah, let's bro out, let's
like
go."
that.
We're
I
both gonna
appreciate
go.
that. I think it always looked manipulative when you can just manufacture the romance to me. And so the only person that I believed in that situation was Bridget, just like sort of taking it in and then being like, wait. And I'm like, that's probably who I would be. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
had a thing. I thought she had the cool, like most chill personality. Like both Bridget and Kyle, I would have probably had conversations with. I'm not attracted to Kyle, but I would have been like, we could probably live together and just have toast every day and be fine. We could work. We could probably do puzzles and eat toast and be a happy, platonic group of lesbos.
Yeah.
There. I'm looking at the pictures right now of everybody. I thought Pilar was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just wanted to shoot pool in Florida with some people, go with Dumb and Dumber. Actually,
it was.
And I mean, literally, if you just wanted to get in the jacuzzi and talk about previous jacuzzis, those are your 2. I don't know why they. Oh, okay. We're on speed dating. I yelled at my TV the first time.
Yeah,
first time I yelled at my TV was when Dana met Mel for the first time, and Mel's immediate like, "Oh, Dana, you're probably trouble." I'm like, I yelled at shut up.
I
and then
hated
like,
it.
What's up? Why are Dana's trouble? What does Mel stand for? And then Mel says, "I'm short for Melissa or melodrama because I'm really dramatic." And she called her a crybaby. I was like, they're gonna be Romeo and Juliet because they're already just like throwing jabs at each other. And it's a first meeting ever. And I just wanted to throw a shoe through the television, and that's when I knew I'd watch the whole thing.
That's when you knew?
That's when I knew. Me and the show had chemistry. We're going to go to the end together.
It took me till episode 9, and then I was like,
I'm only doing this because Kristin is making me. That I knew me. I was so angry at the TV. I yelled. Molly watched this 3 days before I did. And so everything I'm experiencing, I'm 3 days behind her. And so I'm like, what the hell? Who is this? It might be like, I'm working. I'm like, you watched it without me. You're going to have to like stop working so I can come up and tell you how stupid I think Mel is right now.
Yeah, I thought Mel, wait, no. Yeah, AJ is who Mel wishes she was. Like, I felt like there was like this weird boy.
Maybe.
Like, I felt like Mel couldn't pull it off though. What's Mel's zodiac sign?
Taurus. Was she the Taurus? Hang on, let me double check this.
People like Mel. I hated
on
Mel.
The show. I don't know how people in real life were, but on the show, she had lots of interest. Mel had lots of interest. I didn't understand that.
I didn't get it at all.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I called AJ and then Mel is other boy. I'm very mature with my name.
You're so creative. Mel is a Taurus. I called that one.
Okay. Hell yeah. Wow. Cancers and Taurus is
I'm not
good. We should be best friends.
Yeah, you'd be friends with Mel. You know what? If she ran, Megan's a Taurus too. My best friends on the planet are typically Tauruses, and
bro, this is too far ahead, but yeah,
so sensitive,
they're so sensitive.
So when she called her a crybaby, I was like, yeah, that's right. And if you're a Taurus right
Mel,
now,
I
and you're
like
my best friend, you know
much.
that you're a tough crybaby. Shut up. So there's a cocktail party after that. This is when Megan, who is undercut, undercut cries through the whole cocktail party. Which I enjoyed very much. It was the very first cocktail party right after speed dating. Megan, I think, realizes that her girl is clicking with Mel. And so she's watching Haley and Mel, and she has totally forgot to find somebody. Instead, she's just been like reacting to what's happening. Like, oh my gosh, we're here. This is happening. Oh, what could happen? And then, so instead of like I mean, there's got to be some strategy. Come on, because you don't want to be the Red Rover with nobody asking you to come
That's
over.
what I'm saying.
Right? So you're going to have to put out you got to put out something.
I'm flirting with I'm doing the AJ. I felt like AJ just didn't want to not get picked.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what's up, baby? Your eyes do look great.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
And make them all be in love with me, and then I get to choose, and then I marry all of them.
That's the problem too. There was one girl on this show said at one point, I can't remember who it was, I was worried that I was going to fall in love with somebody. I wasn't worried that they were going to fall in love with me. I think it was Megan and what was her name? I got a picture.
Haley?
Yeah, is it something to be
I
concerned
liked Haley
about?
at first, and then but then also Megan's arc was crazy.
Don't get ahead.
I know, I'm not getting ahead. We're staying focused. We're staying focused.
So, one more thing from the speed dating. When so Marika came in because she feels like she needs more love than the other girl, Ashley, can give her.
Yeah.
And she says it a lot. I deserve lots of love, and I never feel like I'm getting the love that I deserve. And when she sat down with AJ and they had this who's the more romantic person off, that was kind of gross. It was a little gross. She's like, well, I'm super romantic, but I'm pretty romantic. Well, I'm super romantic. I wrote Ashley a 98-page story of how we met. I mean, on Ashley,
you pal.
In Ashley's defense, I wouldn't read 98 pages. If Molly,
I won't settle for less than 91
pages and it wasn't a recipe book, I'm not reading it.
That's a homework assignment.
That's a homework assignment. I was there. I lived it. That's not romantic. That is homework.
So funny.
And then AJ talks about like having a DJ come out and so these grand romantic gestures, I just want to know, I think they're selfish. I don't think that they're romantic because I think you're doing it for yourself. I think if you do this, if I write a 98-page thing for you, it's because I want you to think I'm amazing at writing, not because I love you. If I loved you, I would never make you read.
Yeah.
If I loved you, I would do something to make your life easier, not harder.
Okay. Well, I would be prone to agree with you, except for that Marita lived. Oh wait, no.
Marita,
you know what I'm saying? She wanted the romance, and so instead of asking for it or looking for it, she gave it to. She was like, "I'd be romantic,"
right?
And I think that's how you be romantic without being. You know what I mean? She just wants the love that she has to be valued. Like that's what then when people want romance, I do think there is a lot of the grand gesture to it. But it did feel like genuinely Marita wanted to be like just wooed, like genuine, but with dumb Ashley, not, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna be in her defense. I believe this is the case of a 64-pack that got together with a 3-pack and keeps trying to shove crayons in the box. You got the wrong girl. That girl will never be able to be romantic with you, and it doesn't mean she's broken. It just means that you are not the right girl for her. So look, go find somebody else. Get with AJ. Why didn't they try it out? She wanted to. Marita wanted to really.
Yeah, Marita wanted to.
After the speed dating and a little cocktail party, because at the cocktail party, Marita got up and was like, "Can I talk to you?" and pulled her off in the corner. And it's the first time you see someone being aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay. Later that night, that's when Megan, who's been crying this whole time. Megan hasn't found nobody yet. And she takes Dana back in their room and she says, "Can we not do this?"
It's me, dude.
Yeah. Can we just stop? And Dana's like, "You said, we're committed to this, and kind of like what could possibly go wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great show.
I think that was maybe the last. Yeah, that was maybe the last time that there was one other. I didn't really connect with Megan, but in that first moment, I felt like I appreciated that. Like she was like, well, "I forgot we were supposed to be dating each other because I'm scared and there's a lot going on, and now they come back." Baby, can we just go home?
Right.
Like, I felt like I connected with that a little bit.
Well, because I'm sure she's just like, what's the very next day, what we got to do is we got to go.
Break up and
we got to break up and pick
stranger.
people. Yeah. Yeah. Or they've already broken up. They didn't really make a big deal of that, but they've already broken up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's after that last night they have together before they start speed dating. They're just like, well, now
That's
we're broken
right.
up.
Yeah,
now, because they were
already...
like, now I'm single. And they're all like, ha, ha, ha. But if you take the show seriously, you are now single. You have 11 women that you can date around with and find the one that you're Like, and that's the question. Would you pick someone that you're most compatible with, or would you pick somebody that you're not sexually attracted with because you actually want to, work on your relationship? Like, what is your strategy here? None of them thought this through.
None of the okay, but then also this is the thing where you go, they knew what they signed up for. This is only season 2 of the show, and they changed it for season. So the idea of like we know what we're getting into, or they know what they're getting into. We've only had gays on TV for like 20 years, so it's like nobody really knows what we're getting into. It was
Patrick Swayze, and then the Queer Ultimatum. That's the only lesbians we've ever seen.
So it's like I do. This is great. Like I think it's more unusual that all these women were like single for a day. I'm attracted to you. I'm allowed to say it. Nothing weird here. You're like, well, no, I'm a little bit. I think they should get a day to mourn the. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I could never be a producer on this show because I'd be like, hey, can you guys talk to each other for a second? Can we all just be quiet and talk? Can we talk this out?
Oh, they're so good at no, TV producers are insanely good at getting good television out of people. Like, or just, sorry, as Molly would say, just like letting it naturally happen, because they don't, they just let it play out. But I do know, like, using, interviews and this and that. And my thing was like the first week, they're all dating each other. 11 people are kind of dating each other a little bit. And by the end of the week, I think they've all kind of decided like who they're vibing with, but it is the strangest thing that first week, it's all happening in the presence of everyone else. So you were like, flirting while your boo is like the person that wants to marry you is like right around the corner. That would be odd.
Dating either somebody who kind of looks like you or kind of doesn't, and you don't know which one you want more.
Yeah, do you want someone that looks like you or someone that doesn't look like you? Because that did happen to a few people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the girls that only dated mask went femme.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I think that's how you have an authentic ultimatum experience. If you date the opposite of who you are, like in the.
I was a top yesterday. Shit. I'm a bottom today. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's eat toast together. Why do I want to eat toast with somebody? So by the end of the first week, everybody's kind of paired off a little bit. And one of my favorite parts of the show was that who was it? It was Pilar found herself in the middle of what I called the Bermuda Triangle, because it's this wonderful lesbian triangle. And of all the unsuspecting people to be caught in a lesbian love triangle, and nobody was more surprised than Kyle. I mean, Kyle to me was one of the most awkward characters I've ever seen on television. And I think we would be very good friends. But with cameras around and that much emotion, I just feel like she's a very emotional person, and this is just a bit much. And so to then be like so highly desired, she's like, what are you, me? Who, me? What? I am in a love triangle. Might have to process this for a moment.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And literally Pilar was like, I don't know which one I want more. You're like, between those are the two that you triangle with.
I feel like that was the moment that we were waiting for Kyle and Bridget, though, because you go, these people basically look like every successful lesbian couple that I know, so can't imagine they're at fault. And then you go, hey, but in lesbian, that means high currency value.
That is true.
And then poor Pilar, and then I liked that. I thought that was very interesting. It took me a sec to like Pilar, but then I think I fell in love with all of them.
She was funny to me. I thought she was funny. She was really honest. She was like very brashly honest, which I thought the show needed. So she did a very good job of breaking tension a lot. I liked when Bridget was trying to set her up with her girl. She's like, "Oh, you should go with Kyle." Oh my gosh! Like you're like, wait, what are you? So she even was like, I don't know what I'm like. I'd like to be with Pilar, but I feel like Kyle should get to be with her too. And I was like, can you guys do thirds on this show? What a twist!
That's so cute.
What if there was a throuple? That'd be a great twist.
Oh, see, that's how I know it's not the real queer ultimatum, because nobody agreed to be poly.
That's true. We talked about that too. We were like, what if they had poly? And we were just like, it might just, it's too much for our brains. It's just too much. It could be
also,
too much.
I think the show would end in one big relationship. I feel like that's, you know what I mean? That hanging out that much. two, three pods would get together and merge and Megazord, and it would be one
Pods.
giant lesbian.
The lesbian pods are merging. It's like somehow this has turned into a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
I told Molly, I was like, I think accidental poly couples are probably more attractive to watch than traditional poly couples. No offense to traditional poly couples. You're wonderful, I'm sure. But an accidental poly couple? Now that is drama.
That is
you don't
so
know where
cute.
the lines are. You don't know what's what. So okay, before we can't stay because we're gonna have to finish this episode at some point. I don't think we can get through all of it today. So at some point they couple off, and here's who everybody chooses. The choosing was difficult,
crazy,
because AJ I just knew was gonna pick Marita, because AJ was vibing with Marita. AJ was vibing with Marie, and AJ was vibing with one more. And Bridget.
Yeah, it was Bridget.
I thought AJ and Bridget would have been a great couple.
Yeah.
And then AJ threw everybody and went with Food Truck 2.
Food Truck, dude.
Yeah. Which
in the sense that I am watching this because you asked me to, and my less
would
important
you say against
lesbian
your will? Because I'd feel better if you did.
my less important lesbian friends are like, you should watch Queer Ultimatum. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch the Queer Ultimatum.
Less important lesbian friends. I like that. I love that. Thank you so much. I've never felt so seen. I feel like Kyle in a throuple right
gasped. I audibly gasped when AJ picked Marie. I went,
too. I did too. Left field. But also, Marie was the only one who said, I didn't feel like you were putting on a front with me, because I don't think she was. I think she literally like, she didn't have to be like, hey girl, the stars are like in competition over you. The stars are American Idol singing to prove that you're great. I mean, she didn't have to do that. She was just like, oh, hey, what's
American Idol season 1, Kelly Clarkson singing a duet, a cover of your favorite song.
That's right.
That's crazy that you say that, because having already decided that I don't like AJ, I was like, oh yeah, you picked Marie, the only one who wasn't like, hey, I feel like you're manipulating all of us. Like, that's what Marie was just the only one that was like, nah, I'm fine with it. Like, AJ really didn't have a choice. AJ really didn't have a choice, because
Bridget had just called her out for being a player.
Bridget had just called her out. Yeah. And then Marita would have looked like a fool. But then I think even Marita would have done it. Full moment.
Marita doesn't care about looking like a fool. It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the last time. She would have loved to have gone with AJ. If you'd be like, you're so stupid, she'd be like, AJ. When Bridget called AJ out, I did feel like this is not. I like that Brittany came to her defense in this moment when she's about to see her boo date. Like, she's got 3 women that her boo has been flirting with. And she's like, wait, you guys settle down. That's just AJ being AJ. AJ's got, and that's, as a Libra, I'm like, that is a Libra being a Libra. She was just being charming in the moment. It's like a defense mechanism. And she said at the beginning, she's a chameleon. She was people pleasing. She was telling people what they wanted to hear just to not be the girl without a girl. You know, I think it was some survival stuff. So, I mean, yes, it was like, I'm glad she got called out for it, because I'm like, that's not nice to do to people, because there's 3 people now that they're like, I'm positive I'm going to go live with AJ. And at the end of it, you're like, how are there 3 of us that are positive we're all going to go live with AJ?
That was crazy to me.
Yeah. So there was a little, I think, dishonesty there, but I don't think it was intentional. Yeah.
I disagree. And I had to be like, I trust Brittany. And if Brittany trusts AJ, then I trust AJ. It's like your friend who has a bad boyfriend.
Well, if Brittany says, then okay.
If Brittany says that AJ is a chameleon, then AJ can be a chameleon. But I'm not falling for it.
It did catch 2 girls though now having to scramble, and I feel like had Bridget done the night before, was it Bridget that left and tried to put some groundwork down? Oh yeah, with Ashley.
Yeah, with Ashley. Yeah.
She was like, hey, I just noticed you over here sitting alone, and I don't think I'm going to get picked for soccer. Do you want to play soccer together?
The way it was if I was Ashley, I'd go, no, I get it. Come on over. Like, you got played, and now you have no one. Sure.
Ashley I had forgotten Ashley was on the show at this point, and so I was just like, who?
I thought Ashley was a page girl that Bridget hooked up with.
So AJ picks Marie, surprises everybody. No one is surprised when Mel picks Dana. except for there was someone else but who cares? So Mel picks Dana, AJ picks Marie, and then Bridget settles for Ashley, or they settle for each other. Pilar goes with Kyle. That was a twist for me. I was surprised that Pilar took Kyle. I really thought she would have gone with Bridget.
I thought that too.
Dude, and now what we know, knowing what we know now, because I watched ahead a few episodes, I believe that if Pilar had gone with Bridget, I think they would have gotten physical.
Whoa!
Because Bridget was like, she talked about she was a more sexual person. She's very sexually open. And Pilar, I think, was down to make out because, you know.
When we get to those episodes, we're going to have a fucking talk.
We're going to have a talk. It's going to be next week, I think. Because I think we're just going to get to the point right now where everybody's paired off. And then we're going to have to pick this back up. Because we got a little chit-chatty today. And I don't want to do this to our audience.
My bad.
The 13 people that are listening to us right now.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Thanks for listening.
Hi, Mom.
Well, my mom's not listening. Oh my God, I hope Kyle's mom is. I love her, but we're not there yet. So
Kyle's mom.
Wait, who? Okay, so AJ and Marie get together. Bridget and Ashley get together. Let's see,
Haley
Kyle and Pilar, Dana and Haley. That one shocked. I mean, it didn't shock me that they went together because Megan and Haley. Megan had finally stopped crying. And when she finally stopped crying, she realized I've got to pick somebody fast. And
you
seem like you're sad. Hi.
You got red hair. And I have heard of that.
I have an undercut. And so they ended up together, and I didn't think anything of that. Mel and Dana are together. And then the biggest shock to me of all was that Brittany was last to be chosen, which she's the hottest, has the best job, and has the greatest personality. So I'm just going to call it out as being low-key racism.
Whoa!
There is no reason that I can think of that she would be the last person picked and that her and Marita go off together. Like, she is the hottest, best job, successful entrepreneur. Like,
it
incredibly romantic.
Blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, this one was a shocker. So
and then Joe Swisher was just like, because if it had been a lesbian host, she would have been like, "What the f you got?" But it was Joe Swisher, so she was like, "Well, do you two lady lovers be want to couple now?"
She just gives them the option, like, well, no one picked you, so you can either just go together. And I think she never finished the sentence. I think it was just like, you can either go together or we have to stop all of this and you'll get fined $1 billion. Breach of contract. By the way, I know Joe has gotten some backlash on the internet for not being like a lesbian and hosting this show, because I think a lot of people were like, why isn't there a lesbian hosting this show? Fair. And
it's because 12 is the maximum number of lesbians that can be in a room. So it's just
I don't know. I think what she did bring to it, I think, was a lot of she grounded the show. She brought a lot of heart and legitimacy to what people were feeling. I think
straight audiences need her.
I think gay audiences need her too. She did it because she brought legitimacy to the show. If there'd been like a super queer woman, I don't know that they would have
buzzed head tattoo,
seriously,
lip piercing.
Yeah. And I love, me, I love
crop top,
lesbians.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I think
that's the host I want.
I don't know.
We still call her Joe, but it's a butch called Joe, Joe.
Joseph, sup?
Oh, you guys gonna get married or what? I'll marry whoever's left.
Plus, I think a lesbian at some point would have been like, what is wrong with you dumb bitches? Like, and Joe was just like, I see it. I'm holding space for it. You guys, like, you're obviously going through a lot right now, because if anybody was thinking clearly, they would have picked Brittany.
That was, can I tell you what I thought it was? If not racism, I think it's just nobody in that room was good enough for Brittany, and they knew it.
Oh, maybe she was too strong of a woman, because sometimes, and I think when guy-girl relationships, a lot of powerful women have trouble dating because people are intimidated by them. So maybe that's something.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
So the last question I'm going to ask you before we wrap this up, because next week we're going to talk about what happens when they have their new wives, and we'll go into that next week. But this week,
but did you and Molly have the question of what this show would look like if it was all dudes?
We did not talk about if this were all gay dudes.
I watched it with a gay dude. He goes, they would not even.
Having spent some time on a gay male cruise, it is very likely that the person that you were like, yes, I'm going to live with him, would not be the person that you slept with every night.
Every night you get a new husband.
Or week one would have just been an absolute orgy. Week one would have been deck 12 on a cruise, on a gay male cruise. It would have just been like the dick deck.
The dick deck. Wait, can we make a parody of that show where we fake mustaches and we do like a queer ultimatum but for boys?
Absolutely. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Who are you going? So who's your practice wife? Who are you? So at the end of this, just let's say we just know this much about the show. We've met these people. We've had 1 week. Who are you picking as I could live with them for 3 weeks and they're now my practice wife?
I feel like off rip, I liked that Marie like wasn't Mel, but also had a food truck. Like I didn't like Mel, but I liked that. Like, let me be your Mel.
I like that you're not Mel, but you have a food truck.
Those are the two things that stuck out for me.
Okay.
Why? Who's yours?
I mean,
I'll say Marie. Yeah, I feel good about that.
Okay.
I mean, if not Brittany. Brittany, I think I would have pushed all the girls out of the way to talk to her.
Man,
I've been like, you, me, married now.
I
Queen.
can't decide what I would like. If I want to like protect, like, okay, I'm definitely not going to have sex with this person. I'm just going to like have a fun 3 weeks. That wasn't
the question, Kristin.
Well, no, I'm trying to be strategic. I'd like to actually keep my marriage at the end of this. So I don't know. I think either Kyle or Megan. I think I could have probably just like, if it was Kyle, we would have worked puzzles. We would have had tea, probably taken some walks. If it was Megan, we would probably played some video games, eaten some food, and said, guess my fart.
Guess my fart.
Guess my fart.
Oh yes. If I was trying to marry my original partner, I would have got with AJ, and I'd have been like, do you want to just see who can get a bigger bicep from doing push-ups in 3 weeks?
If I'm gonna cheat on Molly, who am I gonna cheat on Molly with? If I'm gonna cheat on Molly, oof.
That's the loophole though. It's not cheating. Remember.
Right. Me and Molly are on a break.
You guys are on a break.
So I'm gonna go.
We're on a break.
We're on a break. So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna talk to Dana a little bit.
You're gonna talk to Dana? Mm-hmm. I love that.
I love manipulative women.
Dana scared me.
She's so scary. I'm totally for it. I'm in. Not for long term, but for 3 weeks, yes. Scare me for 3 weeks. You're awful. Let's go home. Okay, great episode, guys. We're going to come back next week and we're going to explore further into Netflix's The Ultimatum Queer Love with me and Nicole Melnyk. And then someday we will go back to our original Kristin Knows Blank scheduled program. But until then, the Lesbian Army Radio has taken over your podcast. Okay, so
coming to airways near you.
Goodbye.
Lesbian Army Radio.